300 is the total that you've been sort of saying you wanted. You got it quite comfortably. Didn't defend it. That must have been terribly disappointing. Do you think you were below par in the end?
No, absolutely not. Going in at the halfway, I think, what do we get, 310, probably 25 above par. And again, stats back that up. Par here is about 275, 280. Again, if you can build pressure at any stage, it can be perceived as more pressure because the outfield is how slow it is. And yeah, we were happy going into the halfway stage. Absolutely, yeah. Rudy put in a great performance, showed us class again, which is great. But when we bowl one bad ball every couple of overs or every over, you're going to be punished. And we were.
It was the bowling performance that was not quite up to speed today.
Yeah, I mean, we created a couple of chances, which went down, which is always disappointing, because it hasn't been happening in training. So yeah, that was disappointing.
With the bowling going, is it a question just of the guys making mistakes? Or is it that the attack that you bring to this game is just a bit too predictable? I mean, Tiramani's coming here, clearly he's a young man, very full of himself, but you know, his inference to us that the bowling was actually made it quite easy for him because he could predict what was going to happen because it was so
We
similar.
bowled a lot of bad balls. It'll be, I mean, over the next couple of days we'll get the Hawkeye stuff back and the proof will be in that. But my feel is we bowled a lot of bad balls. About being too predictable, you look at the best sides or the best bowlers, they're predictably good. And when we're firing, we are predictably good. We've got two tall guys who are very effective, get bounced, have pace, two guys who swing the ball, and we've Moen does his job. So that's the balance of our attack. Ruti gets a bit of a bowl here and there. But when we bowl well, we put sides under pressure and create opportunities. Today we didn't.
Tended to bowl short, if anything, on the short side. Is that a plan or just the way it came out? Or
Tiramani in particular didn't look too comfortable, particularly early on. Again, we dropped him at slip, but again, chances like that go down all the time. And that was probably because he was hanging back. It was the balls that were bowled previously. It wasn't to do with any massive sideways movement. So again, that worked to start with. And again, bowling shorter as the pace comes off, like as the wicket gets slower, it becomes a wicket-taking ball as well.
I mean, by your own admission, you said you bowled poorly, too many bad balls. Do you have a theory why that is? Why you bowled so poorly today?
No, I don't have a theory yet. No.
On 3 teams that you've played who are ranked higher than you, you've lost 2 fairly comfortably so far. I'm guessing that's a bit of a concern moving forward.
Losing any game is always a concern. Over the next few days we'll have them off and then we'll reconvene and me and Mursey will have a sit down along with the backroom staff and debrief the game and see where we've gone wrong and how we can get better.
Going to, I mean, if you get to the quarterfinals, going to that, you want to sort of have beaten those sorts of sides, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, again, today you can talk about the chances that we put down. Tiramani was one of them. It would have brought Sangakkara to the wicket earlier, more chance of him getting out. But yeah, he played well. He came in an ideal situation.
Is that a gap you think you can bridge before any quarter-final?
Taking a chances, absolutely, yeah.
Owen, you're now, one loss away from nearly being dumped out of the World Cup. How scary a thought is that with 2 games still to go in the pool play?
That's not even a thought at the moment. 2 games to win to get us into a quarter-final.
I mean, the way that you played against Australia and New Zealand, we spoke to you afterwards and you said, well, we hadn't really competed, we can't really say whether what we're capable of because of the nature of those defeats. When you kind of land a punch like you do today and still get beaten pretty comfortably in the end, is that harder to take? Yeah,
it definitely is harder to take. When you don't turn up for a race like those first 2 games, again, it's scratched. But today, when we turn up and we're beaten in the fashion that we were, is harder to take, yeah.
In the long term, Owen, hi. In the long term, what does English cricket need to do to compete in ODIs around the world over the next 5 years?
I think like any side, they need to adapt well and consistently reproduce what works in the conditions that they're playing in.
On a broader scale, how do they do that? Or what should they be doing? What should English cricket be doing? You know, we know there's a review going on. You're the England captain. What do you think? What would you like to see happen?
Those exact same things that I've just said. If we can reproduce like today, for instance, we got a really good score. It probably wasn't a match-winning score to bat the side out of the game, but if we're to improve going forward, again, we probably would have taken wickets early, taken our chances, but very simple things. I mean, it's not out of our reach or a million miles away. It's just continuing to reproduce the simple things consistently.
Owen, is your gut feeling right now that you think you're going to have to make changes for that next game against Bangladesh?
At the moment, I haven't really thought about it. We'll have a couple of days in Adelaide where we'll do nothing and then wait until the dust settles a bit, review the game with the backroom staff and see how we go forward from here.
I'm asking this obviously as a local. What are your thoughts on that performance last night, or both sides actually?
Sorry. It was a really good game to watch. Knowing Brendan McCullum quite well, he'd probably be disappointed in the fashion that they won. But again, you two front runners or two pace setters in a World Cup. It's great to come out of a game like that with a win. I'm sure they'll be really happy.
Owen, just with that in mind, that it's harder to take. How will you lift the players to obviously win what now are absolute must-win games?
Again, it's simple things moving forward. I keep banging on about them because we haven't done them so far this World Cup stint. And the simpler we keep it moving forward, the more obvious what we do or have to do over the next 10 days. So that'll be the message from me to the players. It's not a big deal getting the eyes up. It's a World Cup. Everybody's like a kid at Christmas, wants to play, wants to win. So that part of it's easy. Thanks, guys.